Good morning and welcome to our channel. I'm Mari and this is Satin Cottage Hardy Plants. So today I thought I will make a video to show you our garden, to introduce you to our garden, because obviously I've showed you some short clips, but today I thought I will make a long tour of the garden to show you how the garden looks now in November. It's the first week of November and temperatures are quite nice actually today. It's probably, I forgot to look, but it's about 5 or 6 degrees, and it's going to be warmer later on. I'll start early and see how we get on. It is quite a large garden, so might not be able to fit it all in one video, but we'll see how we go, and I will let you all know. So I'm gonna turn the camera around and take you around our front garden and show you what's looking good, and try not to stay too long in one place. So here we are. So I'm sat here on the bench just for the purpose of the filming. It's a bit breezy today, so I hope you don't mind the rustling of the leaves and the movement of all the grasses. And we are quite close to the road here in the front garden, so you might hear cars. But there's an overview of the front garden. As you can see here, there's still quite a bit of color. And right here beside me where I'm sitting, there is this lovely Erigeron annua. It's self-seeded here, and it's been flowering its socks off for ages and ages and ages. It is quite an invasive biennial. So if you do plant it in your garden, be mindful of that, because it is quite, it will like to take over. But it's such a fabulous little daisy type plant. Very good for pollinators. So I'm gonna go over here. I have a pot with some silver dollar cineraria and some parsley that's self-seeded beside it. I usually do this pot up in every year with some nice things, but this year I never go around to it, and I just left the parsley to grow, and it's quite close to the kitchen here for us, so it's easy to pop out and get some parsley for our dinners. So I'll come around this way and look down. We had this gravy paving put in by the previous owners, so it's nothing to do with us. But I quite like it. There's a lot of things that I planted into the gaps, and it's to break it out, and it's just, yeah, it's fine. I don't mind it. Now here I have a salvia. This is salvia pink lips, but as you can see, it hardly has left any lips. Most of the flowers are still white, and this is quite a normal thing for this salvia to do, especially late in the season. It just kind of loses its lips. There's one here with a good lip on it. So that's still flowering. I mean, it is November, and it's just looking great. And then I have another pot here with a quite tender olearia. That's why it's here. It's protected by the wall of the house. And then, so I will be moving this pot actually even better around the corner where I was sitting, because it's south facing, and it's against the wall of the house, and that will keep it warm. And that's how I overwintered it last year. It's a fabulous olearia. It's got daisy flower and it's blue. And then below it I planted some bidens and a carex, both seed heads. It's a few bits that I broke off the Stipa gigantea, and I just potted them in a pot there with this. But the bidens looks lovely. So there's a few pots. There's another pot here with another olearia. This is a more hardier one, but because it's in a pot, I put it around here to keep it over the winter. And then I have a Felicia. I'm not sure this is gonna be hardy enough to overwinter, but I might put it in a greenhouse with my other plants that I have in a greenhouse. And there is a video coming for that, so look out for it. There's a video on how I care for my tender perennials. So let's move around. Stipa gigantea. If you watch my grasses video, ornamental grasses that look good for this time of year, she's in there. And so I'm not going to go over those grasses much, because you can just go and watch that video, unless it's one that I haven't mentioned. And then this is a lovely aster called Prince George or just George, but it's a lovely one. Flowers very late, and I love that daisy flower. And I have a penstemon Carillo purple here, which still has a few flowers on it. So this penstemon, it's in the border, and you see how it's got lots of growth on it. So I'm not going to cut any of this growth away until April time next year, because if you look in here, look, there's lots of lovely new shoots growing from the bottom. So basically in April time I'll cut all this top growth and use this for material for cuttings if they're still okay by the time April comes next year and they're not too battered by frost. I will use them for cuttings, and then the plant, I'll give the plant a mulch with some well-rotted manure or a feed of some description, and it will grow right down from the bottom again. So that's how I care for my penstemons. And I have a large lavender there, and then Gora still flowering nice, and Aster Fricarti Monk is just about finished now, but it's followed by beautiful seed heads, so that's nice. And I have a nice rose hips here on one of my roses, lovely foliage on this hydrangea. And then this shrub over here, it's fabulous. It's actually, well, it's almost a stone tree. It's Eliacnux quicksilver, one of my favorite shrubs. So beautiful, beautiful scent the flowers have in spring. So it's a really good one to have. This is the previous owners told us that this is a well, so underneath there's water. So I'm very careful around here when I weed, because I'm worried I'm going to fall into the well, so I don't step on top of it. But I have planted it with alpines and plants that like dry conditions and not too much soil. This rock rose really likes it here. The Helianthemum. Yes, they really like it there. They're really grown mad. There's a few crocosmias growing through it. And I have the kaffir lily looking lovely here. Again, I'm not sure I planted this here, but it's quite happy, so I'm going to leave it. I like to find places for plants where they're happy, and then why move them if they're happy where they are? Because sometimes they don't work in every areas of your garden, and if it works in an area, just leave with it, because plants tell you where they like to be. Here I have a lovely geranium, which I absolutely love. This is one of my favorite geraniums, hardy geraniums. This is Karen Waters. Very nice flowers from June and until now, if you keep deadheading it and give it a little feed after the first flash of flowers, and it's just so lovely. Look at that, just what a beautiful flower. Sporobulus heterolopsis here, a lovely ornamental grass which I really like. And then this one is a favorite of mine as well, Trictis Toad Lily. So beautiful, isn't it? It's a very healthy clump. Again, it's happy in this position. It's really got larger and larger, so you know I really like that. Not much happening over here. I have a few evergreen shrubs to give it interest in the winter with the grasses and other plants that have nice winter interest. So there's a Pisosporum there, there's a yew, there's a daisy bush silver, the name escapes me, Brachyglottis, is it? Something like that. I'll put it up on the screen, can't remember for sure. There's my Calamagrostis brachychita. I have quite a few of those in the front garden here. And then here there's a few calendulas flowering, which self-seeded, and there's a lovely Achillea, Walter Funky, reflowering, and there's a pink one flowering here as well. And the Salvia nemorosa, look at that. In November. A nice geranium there, still flowering. And there's a few annuals that I put in here to add a bit of color. So there's some phlox still lingering, and some bidens. This is Hypericum Miracle Night. Look at that beautiful flower. And the leaves, the contrast of the leaves with a orange flower. It's just stunning. I absolutely adore it. And the wiry plant behind it is Verbena Bampton. It's great. It's got lovely purple flower. It's been great all summer. It's gone over now, but still has some structure. More calendula that's seeded. And then this is the allium lavender bubbles. So that's the seed head. So it's still got a nice form. And behind it, I have a lovely variegated pittosporum, which is happy finally. It did suffer a few winters, but looks really healthy just now. So I hope it's not gonna be ruined by the winter again. More lovely Calamagrostis. Then I have a lovely Heuchera walnut here with the Stipa tenissima behind it, and a very nice Persicaria. I don't remember the name. It's got a very wiry kind of red flower, and then the leaves are very interesting. And that lovely Cornus with a variegated leaf. It's a red stem form. And then look at this. Remember my shrub video that looks good in autumn? Well, there it is now. This is like about 5 days later after I did the video for the shrubs. And look at the contrast of the red leaves with the beautiful green bark and the snake bark that it has is so beautiful. Below here I planted a geranium. So the geranium starts here, and then look at it. It's going all the way up. So that's just one plant, and it's growing right through the acer. And this starts flowering beginning of June, and it never stops. I think it's a seedling. I don't know what variety it is, but it's good. Really good. I love it. And I love this view through the acer and the arch, which has got a rose on it. I forgot to mention the rose arch. It's just a white rose. It's very scented. It's not got very many flowers on it now. And then I have 2 clematis planted on these sides here. And this is just a work in progress. My plan is to have a arch going from this corner here to that corner, and then from that corner to this corner. So they come into like a dome. And then train the plants up it. But at the moment it's like this. So until we get it done, there's other priorities at the moment. So yes, coming back to the garden. This is Ceslaria autumnalis. It's one of my favorite grasses. It's starting to go a bit yellow on the tips, and this is normal for this time of year. But it's a very lovely zesty green in the summer, and it's just a lovely foil for plants, for other plants, and it's a great punctuation plant. So it's right in the corner of a bed, and it just softens the edges, and it looks great. It's particularly good with this aster earlier on. And I see I have a nettle there I need to deal with quickly. There's a leaf on this acer, how it looks in the summer. And it's got a lovely red stem, but then look at it. Love it. And then right here, I have Adianthus. That's a fabulous fern. I really like it. It's got really black stems. And then the leaves are very nice. It likes shelter position, especially from wind, and it's not evergreen, but it's so beautiful. You hear that wren singing beside us. And then I got a nice Rogesia under there. And here we have a couple of ponds. So there's one here, it's got a water lily in it. And then on the other side I have another pond which has some Siberian irises in it and a marsh marigold. And it just, it needs tidied up, this bed. There's Persicaria still having a few flowers. There's a steel bees in here with the seed heads. I'm still going to leave them where they are. But I'm going to cut the leaves on the iris, and I'm going to cut a few bits and bobs from here. There's some nice Helianthemum rock rose that is growing over the edges here. This double red one is trying to flower still. So it looks really good earlier on this bed, but now it's looking a bit tired and it needs a bit of a tidy. That's Physocarpus lady in red, a very nice shrub. And then I have here the Erigeron Wen Roderick. Really nice. I love. Let me find a flower that it's fresh. See the beautiful green center it starts and then it turns to yellow. The flower behind, really nice. And then this grass beside it is Cetaria caramel. And this is a lovely Oreganum, Levigatum Herrenhauser. So look out for this Oreganum because it's my favorite. It's one of the best Oregano. Mine is doing a lovely clump here, so I'm going to be able to take cuttings and propagate and plant it in other areas because it's a great one. Really, really is a fabulous Oregano. The best one for ornamental gardens. And then I have some sedum and hydrangea here. It's still hanging up for some color. The sedum is looking really good now in this seed form, and it's particularly nice with this Eryngium beside it. The Eryngium Burgati, I think is. And then this lovely fennel here looking nice in the morning light. Got lovely Daphne here, very nice scent in the spring. Another ornamental grass. Beautiful seed heads on this Eurybia hervei. I have an aster here called Ezomorasaki, something like that. That's flowering really late. I think I need to move it, put it somewhere where it can be seen a bit better because you can hardly see it there. Love this view from here with the grass and the lovely fiery leaves behind it. So we're seeing the garden now from a different angle. Lovely seed heads on the Penicetum red buttons. And then this is the Morina longifolia seed heads. It's got a really spiky leaf. Very scented. I think it's only two in this, these two plants in this genus. So very nice, unusual plant. And there's a wee combination here that I'm not happy with. The hebe and the lavender, they just clash with each other. So I think I'm gonna lift the hebe and leave that space for something else. And then I'm gonna have just a wire bush, which is that plant there. Move the hebe somewhere else. And then, or maybe move the lavender somewhere else. Or just take the lavender out altogether and move the hebe where the lavender is. But yeah, I don't know what I was thinking when I planted these three plants together. Too many silvers and they just don't look right. So that's something that needs to change. And then we are back to where we began. As you can see, I'm back to where we began. Here I have some Dianthus Cartusionorum. And look at it. It's still trying to flower, but I do love the seed heads as well. They're really pretty seed heads on it. And then Salvia, here again another Salvia Lemanche. Really nice, and growing through it is this arching stems are diorama. It's a lovely pink diorama, which has got the most beautiful seed heads. So Lemanche, this Salvia is, I'll show you a close up of it. Really pretty. Flowering again, still very well. Another ornamental grass. Got some Diacia flowering down at the bottom there, and there's more diorama. And the big leaf next to the wall is Euchroma australis, which is quite tender, so hence why it's planted right against the wall of the house here on the south-facing position. This is all south-facing. Penicitum villosum, this is another ornamental grass that I have. Again, planted right next to the wall. And I do mulch this grass in the winter with straw, so I just cut it down to the ground. Or bend the foliage down actually and just put straw on top of it because it's a deciduous grass and it's surviving there really happy. So that's something that you can do if you want to have something a bit more tender, and it's looking so beautiful with these lovely fluffy seed heads. It's a lovely grass. Flowers really early and it just keeps producing new seed heads. Curry plant here, lovely euphorbia here, nice fresh green leaves, and then more erigeron. And this plant here is Feralgea Newly's coral. So this plant has been in this bed for the last 4 years. It's planted here right next to the wall. I had to tie it up because it falls down on the path and it's annoying. So next year I'm going to cut it right down to the ground and hopefully it won't grow as tall. But basically I'm going to leave all this growth on it for winter to protect the base, and then go and cut it right down. It's becoming a little bit too woody anyway. It's a lovely plant, and I'm gonna talk a bit more about it in my video on overwintering tender perennials in the greenhouse and in the garden. So basically there's another tender perennial here that it's been in the ground for the last 2 years. This is Salvia Black and Bloom, something like that. It's again, I mulch it with straw and just leave it here. It's south-facing wall and sheltered, so seems to work. Erigeron Kandinskiensis still flowering, and some lovely sedums beside it. And look at the lovely leaves on that geranium, sanguineum type. Have the bird path here. We're giving the birds some fat balls. And then I'm going to turn the camera around, go in this corner because I love this view from here with Calamagrostis emondensis. I'm just looking through the bed. Forgot to mention my beautiful birch tree. It's got the most beautiful bright yellow leaves now. So lovely looking. And then everything is catching up the light so beautifully. So there we are. This is our front garden. The hedge is privet. It is a bit annoying because it takes 2 cuts a year. So yeah, lots of maintenance for that. And then this other hedge, the stoller, is Leylandi. Then we have another Leylandi hedge on the other side, which is not looking great, but it's fabulous for shelter from the west. We get a lot of westerly winds, so that hedge is a godsend. It's really makes a huge difference to our garden. And then here I have a crab apple called Laura. Really nice fruit. You can make lovely crab apple jelly with it. I love the contrast of the leaf with the red apples. So we're gonna go around the corner now, and I'm gonna show you the west side of the house. And here, as you can see, it's quite a narrow path because I planted plants on both sides of it, so it's been narrow already. It's about 2 meters wide. So basically I'm just leaving like 30-40 centimeters for a path. The rest is all plants, but we don't really use this side of the house, so it's fine by me. And here there is more tender plants, tender perennials that I leave in the ground. One of them is this Ceratostigma. It's got a lovely blue flower, really lovely. There is a little bit of a blue flower left there. Usually flowers from July or until now. Really lovely plant. And then more Salvia Lemonge here, again looking very happy. Next spring I'll have to prune them harder because they're becoming a little bit woody. So next spring I'll have to be a wee bit go a bit lower with the cutting, with the pruning, because they're getting quite woody and struggly looking. So need a good haircut. Look at that. Isn't that lovely the way that light catches? You can see some cars. That's the road. There's another tender plant here. That's the Grevillea. Really lovely plant with scarlet red flowers, and from that's the flower buds there from March till June I think. So this as we come around, the path will get wider. There's another Salvia here. This is Salvia nut blinder, very good plant. Flowers for a long time. There's our patio area here by the west side of the house. This is an absolute sun trap in the summertime when the sun is high, but it's quite shady in the winter because the sun sets by the time it comes around the house. So although it's shady, it's sheltered because we have the wall here with a lovely climbing hydrangea, and then we have the hedge on the other side, and then we have the wall of the house. So it's just a microclimate in this area here. So a lot of plants that are tender seem to enjoy this area. There's another one example of that. This is Crinodendron hookerianum, a lovely shrub with lantern-like flowers earlier on in spring, and then to early summer. It's full of flower buds, so it's very exciting. Look at this beautiful hydrangea here. What a lovely foliage that hydrangea has. Unfortunately, only had one flower this year. This is a pot with a hosta. Hosta's already gone to bed because we had a light frost earlier on. Scabiosa ocreolocon here. This flowers from late summer all the way until late autumn. Then there's more salvia nut blinder there, and then there's a salvia dancing dolls there, and then the other one, the yellow creamy one, it's cool cream. Underneath here where it's shady, I planted some epimediums, branera, there's Gallium odoratum, there's ferns and heucheras. So there's hellebores. This is a self-seeded hellebore that's just about to come into flower. There's lots of lovely ground cover alpine plants, as you can see. So it's just a tapestry of spring flowering perennials here. Most of them are spring flowering, so I call this garden a spring garden. There is something in flower now, which is fabulous. Look at this. Saxifraga fortunei, I think is one. Flowers really late, as you can see. It's at its best. Very nice saxifraga. This is a spring flowering cushion saxifraga. So there we are. There's lots of things in here. Thyme, phlox, pulsatilla, kidney vetch, artemisia. There's some oraliums here, and then I have a lovely heather. Look at that, so pretty. And then we look down the path. I have another salvia here. This is lavender dilly dilly. Flowering really nice. And this clematis needs chopped back because it's a herbaceous one. It's one that ties down to the ground. Beautiful white flowers. And I see it's setting seed. So I must try to germinate some. It's got quite a few seed heads on it. It's my teddy bears. Dad and mom and baby. They're guarding here my wall. Looking very nice. And this bed here, it's full of hardy geraniums and spring flowering things again. There's the Latirus vernum in here. There's Erigeron again, and Pulsatilla. That's a lovely shrub. I cannot remember the name of it. I'll try and put it on the screen. There's lots of primula. Some nice ferns as well. There's a nice fern there, and then there's another one at the back of the wall there with a very narrow leaf. Don't know their names. There's Pulmonaria in here, and I mentioned there's this Carex, hellebores, Saxifraga, anemones, and all sorts of other beautiful bulbs, erythroniums. This is the pussy willow with a pink flower, Mount Aso. It's Mount Aso. Oh, it's looking very promising for next spring. I didn't have very many catkins last year. this year, but look, you can just see them forming now. So it's gonna be a good show of catkins for next spring, I think. I'm gonna keep it short. I'm not gonna let it grow big. I just wanted it to have spring cut because this is my spring garden. I thought that would be a lovely addition to it with the willow. And then there's another lovely Acer there. That's I didn't notice it until just now. Look at the color on that. Isn't it fabulous? Again, it's good because it's in a shelter spot. You can see the bits that are going above the wall are all shriveled up and lost, but all the lower bits where there's shelter, it just shows you how much shelter they need. It's looking so much better. And this monstrosity here, this is a piracantha. I do not like them at all. So I prune it into try to prune it in cloud, like a cloud, but it's looking a bit sorry for itself. It's not the best shrub, but it's good cover for the birds. We did have a nest in it. You see the nest there? There's a nest. I think it was sparrows that nested in there. So it's good for the birds to have some shrubs and trees, even if you don't really like them. The birds do, especially if they are very dense, like that is. This is the bed. It's right underneath our living room window, so I have lots of tulips and lots of spring flowering bulbs here. And then in the summer there's Astroemerias and Rudbeckia and the Rhindium. They really look good with the grasses, and then I have some sedum coming for later on. So basically I'm trying my best to add interest in it here for most of the summer. It's quite a tricky spot to do because it's very dry, so a lot of things I tried in it, I didn't really succeed. So I'm leaving the things they are happy in and try and work with what plants like and where they like to be. So I'm letting the self-seeders do their thing in here. And then I have lovely Cyanotus that we inherited when we moved here, and that's just amazing when it flowers in July. Just a sea of blue and absolutely covered in bumblebees and bees and you name it, they're all on it. Honeybees. Honeysuckle I need to tie in. I have a lovely honeysuckle here that flowers for a long time. Oh, there's a berry on this rose. Very nice. So there's a rose as well, and the honeysuckle and the clematis on this pergola, so there's interest for a long time. And now we're coming to the back garden. So this was the front garden and the west garden, and now we're coming into the garden. I'm going to turn around slowly. This is the north facing garden, but we do get some east. As you see where the light is just now, that's coming from the east because we are early in the morning, so that we get some east light in the garden, in this side of the garden as well. But we also, in the height of summer, we also get from the west. So west is that direction there, but in the winter it doesn't get much west light because by the time it comes around the house the sun sets. It sets really early here in the Highlands of Scotland. By 3 o'clock the sun is gone beyond the trees that you see there, and it's just not giving any light to this garden. So sits in a lot of shade in a autumn, late autumn and the summer and winter. But see, everything that's in here seems to survive well and seems to not mind being in this, having this aspect. And this is my naturalistic planting garden. It is meant to look good from late summer. So it's particularly heavy planted with lots of late flowering perennials and ornamental grasses to give me that winter interest. I do not cut any of these plants back until end of January, because one of the reasons why I don't cut them back is because obviously they add all this lovely interest and seed heads. They're great for the birds and for the insects to overwinter in them, and for the birds to come and feed, and the insects will feed on whatever there is left in here. And then it just adds me some structure to the garden, because otherwise it could be quite flat, because a lot of things in here are herbaceous perennials, which means they die down to the ground. So basically I'm leaving all this growth here until later on in January, and then I'll cut them down to the ground. I usually use a hedge trimmer and try and cut them into smaller pieces, and then leave the vegetation, whatever I'm cutting, whatever is left by end of winter, because a lot of the leaves and things would have fallen off by then by themselves. Whatever is left, I'll just leave them onto the ground to mulch the ground, feed the ground, suppress the weeds. And it's less work for me having to drag them all away, which is a lot. This bed is very big. So I done it at the bus, and it works really well. So I'm just going to continue to do that. Less work for myself. But basically here I'm standing right by our patio window here from our living room. So we get this lovely view out of the window. I'm right by the patio here, look. And this is why I planned the path there, because when I come out the patio, I can come right into the garden and enjoy it. Summer house, we use it a lot, especially in the springtime. We like to go and sit in there and have a coffee and lunch. And there's the chicken run. We have chickens. And yeah, this is our back garden. And I'm going to go and show you a few of the things that look good. Elephant ears, Virginia, I love the leaves on it. Another lovely grass. Here this is Jarvia pseudoichu. Very nice ornamental grass, very fluffy seed heads, very tactile. There's a beautiful Molinia transparent, one of the best grasses ever. Love the leaves on that Filipendula. Fabulous seed heads on the Eryngium and the Rudbeckia. And then this is bladder senna here. Look at that. They look like bladders. That's why they're called bladder senna. The seed heads on it. Lovely yellow flower. I think Colutea, something its name is. Very nice. I'm loving the way the light catches, the sun catches these corners. As it comes from the east. Sunshine catches the light, catches the stems of this, and it makes it really bright and fabulous. And coming back, I have here another aster, Laterifolium, lady in black. Really, really nice, and it looks really nice with this Calamagrostis carforster. So, and I love this view from here across to the summer house. All the lovely textures with the ornamental grasses. So basically here we have 3 circles with borders on both sides of the circles, and then a 1 meter wide path. Maybe it's 1.5 meter wide. Yeah, I think it's a bit bigger than a meter. And that's just the meandering path around the garden. Because I wanted the garden to envelop, that's for me to walk into the garden and be surrounded on all sides by plants. I think it just gives you such a lovely feeling when you come in here and you sit amongst the plants. And yeah, I really, really think it works really well. I'm happy with the way it looks and the way it makes me feel. Here I have a lovely Artemisia Powie Castle. Stays evergreen. It's got a lovely leaf, very scented, and it's a great addition for the winter interest or autumn. It stands up really nicely. There's another Artemisia here. This is Valerie finis. Again, a lovely foliage on it. And there's some Persicaria still flowering at the back there. Persicaria amplexicalius. And there's another Acer. It's just starting to turn color there. Really lovely foliage on that. And then coming round, we're going to go round in a circle here. There's not much happening here. There's some seeds of the Eryngium, Miss Wilma's Ghost, and then there's a Salvia Copentagense. This is a species salvia. It flowers for a very long time. Very good. There's a lovely aster there. Nice white flower on it. Don't know which one it is. More of that Erigero nanua. Lovely seed heads on the Ligularia. That's a yellow flowering Ligularia with a big leaf. As you can see, there's a big leaf on it. And then there's not much happening here. Seed heads of allium. And then we come up to this. I have a gate here that takes you out. We did have to rabbit fence this garden because we used to have rabbits coming in. So we put the gate and put the rabbit fencing in to stop them coming in. So that's why the gate is there. Oh, the wind has knocked over a tray. Because here I have an honesty stand with plants I put up for sale. And the honesty stand, it wasn't big enough, so I put this stand here to add extra space for my plants that I have for sale. So there's the honesty stand here behind the rail sleeper wall that my husband put in. Before this railway sleeper wall was here, we had another hedge, which is another Leylandy conifer type hedge that was 3 meters wide. So we gained 3 meters of garden by taking that hedge away and put this lovely railway sleeper wall instead. But there's a nice geranium here. It keeps getting eaten. It's a geranium lilac ice. It's a lovely Wallachianum type. But something keeps munching at the flowers. Very frustrating. And there's a nice scented rose. Agapanthus seed heads. And what else there is in here? Not much to look at. Everything is kind of gone brown. But I love the seed heads on that still be there. Really nice. It looks good in the winter with frost on it. And then this lovely Euphorbia Wilfenii I absolutely love. And I just love all the textures that plants can give, even when they don't have flowers. And that was my aim for this garden, to plant in plants that even if when they're not in flower, they have a nice presence. They don't collapse, and they have either nice seed heads, or they have nice leaves, or they have nice berries, or they just have a nice form. Even the brown leaves on that Veronicastrum with the seed heads, see how lovely that looks. I just think they add something. And then the Sarguisorpa as well there. And we get a lovely view of the garden from that window upstairs. That's our bedroom, and we have actually put breakfast chairs in the bedroom, and we sit sometimes in the bedroom, have our breakfast, and watch the birds in the garden. And especially in the winter time when we don't really like to venture outside, we can still sit in the window and watch the garden and watch the world go by. And at the weekends when we have time. This is Aster Wonder von Staffa, so you can see it's still flowering. I want to add more of this aster in other areas of this garden because it just gives that lovely flower for such a long time. They start flowering in July, I think, and they just keep going and going and going and going and going and going until November, which is fantastic. What more can you ask for? There's another salvia here, Salvia sylvestris, which is flowering again. Nice white flower on it. I love that, and I love the way it's catching the light just now. Fabulous crab apple on this side here. This is red sentinel, an absolutely fantastic crab apple. Great color berries, and birds don't seem to eat them, so they sit on the plant until next spring. February last year and even beginning of March, I still had apples on it. It was just about to flower before the apple fell off. Apples. And there's the beautiful miscanthus. Isn't it gorgeous? It's so beautiful, the grasses. And then here I have a lovely Astroemeria which is flowering. Yesterday I pulled some of the stems, because that's how you deadhead Astroemeria. You don't just come and cut it here. you pull the whole stem from the ground. See, I just pull right down from the ground. There's a white bit that was under the ground, and that triggers the bulbs or the rhizomes to produce new stems with flowers, and that's been flowering since June. It's the longest flowering Astrameria I have here. I don't know the variety because I grew it from seed. And then here I got more of that lovely Eurybia hervei, and it's just beautiful. Look at that. So that's the flower is the most beautiful blue earlier on. I think it finishes flowering end of August, and then it makes the lovely fluffy seed heads, which are this here. That's just fluffy seeds. I don't think they're viable. And then when you take the seeds away, it leaves that lovely bracts, which are almost silver in the center. Look at that. And the way they catch the light in the winter are, I think, just as beautiful as the flowers. Very upright, very self-sustaining. It doesn't need staking. Highly, highly recommend. Eurybia hervei. I think there is another name for it. Oh, I don't know. I'll try and put it on the screen. Remember my video with the shrubs, and I did a video of this lovely Cornus alba. It had beautiful pink leaves on it. They're all gone. Well, I still has one or two left, but basically now it's just the stems, which they look so beautiful. Turn round. It's a bit sunny here because the sun is coming from the east. This is the other shrub I mentioned in my video with shrubs. This is the Euonymus alatus, and beside it I have a lovely Persicaria, red dragon. Nice flower, and then the nice red leaf, which has got a nice shape to it, nice pattern on it. See if I can see the pattern there. So lovely, isn't it? Love that. Geranium rosan flowering here by the summer house. And I'm enjoying the seed heads on this lovely Agastache. There was white, I have a white and a purple one here. They still sit right next to the summer house, and I think they work so well. Again, they're very upright, very self-supporting, and they're great for summer color and also for lovely winter interest. There's another aster here. This one I grew from seed, Aster novianglii type, and it's got the lovely seed heads of the monarda here, and then an ornamental grass with very unusual seed heads. I cannot remember the name of this one either. And then the seed heads of the Eryngium, really nice. And now I'm going to look down the garden. It's kind of hard to see what I'm doing because the sun is so strong. So I think it's working very well with the sun there. But you kind of get the idea. I'll move away from the sun so you can see a bit better. Go around this way and look across that way, see? I'm really happy with the lovely textures. And that's silver leaf plant at the back. It's our eucalyptus, which I coppiced in March 2024, and that's grown back and it's looking fabulous with the lovely juvenile leaves. So I'm gonna move a little bit faster and show you a few other bits and bobs from the back garden here. This is a lovely Bupleurum fructicosum, a great evergreen shrub with fabulous, this is how the flowers, well, the leaves, the seed heads look before they go brown. They start green. The flowers are a lovely yellow, very good for cut flowers and for flower arranging. Right, I'm going to open the gate and we go through the gate to our drive, and then show you this bed here. This is my hellebore bed. So I have at least 20 hellebores in here, if not more, and a few other bits and bobs that are nice, and a bucket. I've got a lovely hebe here called Amy, I think this hebe is, and then have hydrangea, and I have obviously the birch trees here, and I planted a rose, a dog rose, not a dog rose, Rosa rugosa, lovely pink flowers with the big massive hips on it. I did cut a lot of it away because it's starting to swamp my hellebores, which you can see the leaves of underneath there. There's a lot of hellebores in this bed. Some of them self-seeded. There's a deutzia shrub here, strawberry fields I planted. This fabulous Euphorbia Euphorbia Ascot Rainbow. The flowers look like this. It's flowering out of season, as you can see. But when it properly flowers, it flowers up from each of those stems, and it starts flowering in February. I mean, it's beautiful now, but it has a fantastic, I mean, it looks beautiful all the time. And the flowers last on it from February all the way until August. And then I come and cut them all back, and then new leaves and stems grow, and it's just a fabulous plant. And then beside it I have a Skimmia. Took me a while there. This beautiful ornamental grass, Stipa ichu. There's a lovely hebe there, evergreen. And then fabulous Hypericum. It's got pink berries in the summer. Pink, like peachy, pinky color berries. Now they're gone black. I cut dark hard every year, and it comes back and it makes beautiful yellow flowers and then lovely pink berries. I grew this from seed here. This is Penicitum. Isn't that gorgeous? Flowering for the first time this year. More Skimmia here, and I got Parahebe Porlock here. Another nice leaves on hydrangeas. They didn't flower this year. I think last winter they got killed back quite a bit, and I lost all the flowers. Hopefully this year we won't have the same problem. A nice fern, I don't know the variety name. There's lots of hellebores and pulmonaria, string bulbs, like lots of fantastic snowdrops here, and hepaticas. And there's the cornus with a yellow leaf, which is fabulous, and yellow stems. And basically that's my shrub bed, and above it I have a beautiful Amelanchier, which is a small tree that has lovely autumn color. The leaves are all gone. You can still see a few of those, and then fabulous white flowers in the spring. Just beautiful, 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 beautiful shrub. Highly recommended. And then this is our drive. This is our drive going back to our back door. So that's our back garden video or tour of our back garden. I'm going to turn the camera around and come back and see you for a minute. So I think I'm gonna do this just as part one, because I have more garden to show you. So that was part one or tour of our garden in November. Hope you enjoyed. Thank you very much for watching, and I shall see you in the next one. Bye.